I was stuck in Kyoto, Japan for 3 months during COVID, and it was pretty magnificent. International travel was banned, but lockdown hadn't started yet, so I was able to experience it with pretty much no tourists. On top of that, it was the cherry blossom season, so it was basically travel jackpot. Once everything locked down though, I would stay at a house by the river that me and my partner rented at the time for only $200 a month, which I believe was like 70% off due to not having any tourists. It's a strange feeling to have been benefited from the consequence of a worldwide catastrophe, but it just worked out that way for us. During this time, we would mostly stay inside, we'd cook, walk to the convenience store every few days to stock up on various snacks, have a bunch of sex, and rinse and repeat. It was the pandemic, so not much else to do. I wasn't baking bread, but I was serving cake. About once a week or so, I would walk from the river to Fushigi Inari, which was about like an hour walk, I believe. Some days I would make the entire walk from the bottom of the stairs to all the way to the top, but most days I would just walk partial ways. All the while, spring was turning to summer. In my memories, this feels like a magical time. Like I was role-playing a Miyazaki film. I was essentially Chihiro from Spirited Away. Except, it wasn't like that at all. Because those were the highlights. Because if I think hard enough, I would also remember that my anxiety was through the roof. I was constantly dealing with disturbing, intrusive thoughts that I couldn't shake. My relationship with my partner was rocky. I wanted to cheat my way through financial independence by doing day trading, and that was absolutely stupid. Very stupid, don't do that. I was struggling big time. I was role-playing a Satoshi Kon film instead. Yet, none of these darker moments really stick out. And in a few years, maybe they will be forgotten completely. In fact, many of my memories has shifted and changed as I get older. It's like all the bad parts are downplayed or romanticized as some sort of a dramatic arc made to make the plot of life feel more exciting. Though some memories remain unpleasant. I would never want to go back to high school. I don't romanticize it, and I don't remember it fondly either. Teenage years are weird. Somehow we hit puberty, and even though brain is still of a child, dumb child, we try to act like we're adults because suddenly you think, yeah, One Direction is too embarrassing. I need to listen to Radiohead because I am deep. It was a little jarring to move from Hannah Montana to Breaking Bad, but both have essentially the same plot if you think about it. The memories of high school has gotten more embarrassing and cringy as I've gotten older. High school honestly felt like a play that I was taking a part in for 4 years, as opposed to a real lived experience. So I'm glad real life feels more real. But before that, there's childhood. I have virtually no memories of me before I was 6, maybe 7 years old. Who was I then? Of course, a spoiled brat, but like, what was I like? Was I still a fat? Yes. My relatives tell me that I once drank kerosene and was hospitalized, and I retain no memory of that. I wish I did though. That's pretty fucking cool. And I would have liked to know what kerosene tastes like, as it smells very good. But were there monumental things that happened during these times that still impacts me today and has shaped me? Did something traumatic happen? Was there someone in my life to whom I was immensely important to that I don't even know exists now? All these experiences of half a decade into the void. Nowhere does it exist anymore, like it never happened. Maybe it didn't. If a tree falls into the forest, yeah, we're not getting into that nonsense. We're not philosophical here, people. We're just vibing. What I do remember of my childhood is that I had a happy one. But I have felt the chills of immense sadness. I was once depressed. And when I think of those times now, I very much downplay it. It's just something that everybody goes through, no biggie. And the reason for that is because while I remember feeling fatally hopeless, I can't really figure out what that level of hopelessness felt like. Maybe it's because I haven't felt it since. Maybe it's my body's way of moving on and moving forward. I mean, if we remembered our pain too vividly, we would be too scared to live, right? I try to frame it in a positive manner, something to do with strength, resilience, appreciation of the important things in life, but really, it didn't need to get that bad. It's good to be sad sometimes. It's good to have adversity. I don't think it's good to feel hopeless. Nonetheless, much of my strength, resilience, and fetishes probably sprouted from such times. Daddy, save me from my mind by destroying my body. I will say though that my memories of depression stands as a measuring point for all my other difficult times. When I'm feeling the blues, I can say that this sucks, but this I can take. Because this is nothing like what I once felt. In a way, depression also takes away your memories, because it takes away time. Maybe due to the ever-present haze and lack of joy in any endeavors and activities that you do, time, as excruciating as it feels, goes by quick and unceremoniously. Somehow, 2 years passes and you realize, oh, I've stopped growing taller. What else happened in the last 2 years? That's the me depresso. And how do we remember those around us? When I was in 8th grade, I had my first and only bully. And to me, he will forever be the villain of that era of my life. And if I met him today, I bet I would still feel a sense of distrust and hatred towards him. Yet, I seem to have forgiven me or allowed myself to not dwell on all the ways I've been a bitch to others and hurt them in the process. I mean, who is he now? Who did he bully? He's not him and I'm not me from then, so who do I hate then? A child? It's senseless. I would still hold a grudge though, that's just me. It's just pointless to do so. There were wonderful memories made with people that I once knew so well, and now they're just a title of a #1 song from 2012. Nothing lasts, not really, not even anger. My parents, I was incredibly angry at them for quite a while. I couldn't understand many of the things that they were doing and all the things they weren't doing that they should have, and now I do. The knowledge of immense struggle that they had to endure doesn't erase or overwrite the suffering I endured through their hands, but now a blanket of empathy lays upon all those unpleasant memories and I don't feel anger anymore. I feel an emotion with nuance and complexity that no words could really describe. My scope of knowledge and experience tells me that I wouldn't say the things they did, I wouldn't act that way, and I would do the right things with my kid if I ever had one, and maybe that's true to an extent. Maybe not. But they, my parents, they didn't live the life that I lived. The norms and expectations of their times were crueler to them than their ignorance could have ever been to me. They were broken people. How could they have not cut those around them? I thought I would never let go of the anger, hold on to all the unpleasant memories like poison to serve back one day. But alas, it wasn't so. Now all that poison is just water under the bridge. You might say if that's fair. The past happened exactly the way it did. Why should perspective change its shape? After all, I was a child, innocent in all the transgressions, and maybe it's not fair, but nothing is. Not my suffering, not theirs. And all things considered, I'm pretty lucky to be their son. Or maybe it's just another way of me romanticizing the past. Us fellow humans have been known to do that. Though more often than not, the good old days are generally only good because it's not present in our present. We yearn for what is missing in our current life, not because they were better or had any less problems, but simply because we can't get back to them. It could be a little unhealthy maybe to look back at the past in rose-colored glasses and then look at present with 20/20 vision, with all the painful moments clear and prominent. Sort of makes you feel shitty about your life. To be honest, I don't think I've ever felt fully satisfied with life. It always felt like I needed to squeeze more juice out of it. Like I always need to be doing something, getting at something, achieving something. It's only when I look back that I realize, wait a second. What a wonderfully wild ride it's been.